This is my secret weapon, Descript. It's how I edit all of my videos on the computer. It's how I can get videos done in just a few minutes. It's how I edit them by editing the text instead of the video. It is incredibly powerful, and for us business folk, it is a godsend. Let me show you what I mean. What you'll see here is a blank Descript window. So this is a brand new project inside Descript, and I'm dragging the footage onto the canvas. Just click the file and drag it over. As soon as I find this file and drag it over, it will start transcribing it. It takes a couple of minutes, but what it's doing is it's taking all of the words that it hears and turns it into text. So now I have a Word document I can edit. It's very powerful for someone like me who would prefer to edit text versus going through the timeline. If you look down here, you'll see the timeline and it pops up as I'm going through it. But the important thing to know is that you don't have to use it. You don't. So every project I start off with a rough cut, and that's what you're seeing me do here. You'll see like the blue as it's moving, that's me playing the video. And when you see me highlighting stuff like that, right there, and hitting delete, I'm making cuts. So I'm going through the text, listening to the video, and I'm highlighting and deleting things that I don't want in the video anymore. This is how I get the rough cutting done so quickly. This is what allows me to load up a video, only grab the meat and potatoes out of it, keep the things that only I believe would be best for my customer, and then pass it off to an editor. Now, I'm not passing it off to an editor today. I'm going to show you the entire process, but the rough cut is by far the most powerful. Being able to go through and delete things based on text is so huge, and it saves so much time, and it's way less tedious in my opinion. So if you look closely, you'll see we're down at 1:59, and we're getting lower and lower and lower. I watch through it, and I delete the things that don't need to be there. If it doesn't serve them, I get rid of it. If it's just talking about me, I get rid of it. If it comes from a place of ego or selfishness, or it's about me, I get rid of it. All right, so I've got the rough cut done. What you're gonna see now is something that's really interesting. You'll see a bunch of slash marks popping up on the left-hand side, forward slashes to be specific. And then you're gonna see a bunch of scenes popping up on the left. So watch, see this? Putting a bunch of slashes, and then we're creating scenes on the left. This is how you create a separate scene in Descript. You find the sentence that you want to put in a new scene and you press the slash button and it creates a new scene. It's that simple. Why do we want to create a new scene though? Because on each one of these scenes, I can drag and drop a graphic or a video on top. And that graphic and video is going to stay present for the duration of that scene. Let's say that I only want the red box to show up on Tuesday right here because on the next sentence I'm talking about the gym. So I set a new scene and I overlay the box on this one. And then on the next scene, I'll overlay the box on this one. So when it plays, it looks like this. We'll go one sentence back.
Then I can jump into meetings for the rest of the day. Tuesday's a lot easier. We do gym, and then we come back and we edit some of the videos we've already recorded. Then I get lunch and then go right into skills training.
You see that? Each scene has a different image, and I'm using the scenes to break up the images to make it easier for me to edit and overlay the graphics. So what you're seeing me do here is breaking up the most important sentences. I'm looking at the content and I'm like, okay, then it's dinner and a break. That's one scene because I'm going to show dinner and a break. And then same thing on Wednesday and Thursday. I'm like, okay, I'm going to put up images of Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of the calendar. And then I'm like, all right, I need another one for Friday because that's a different scene. And so I'm just breaking it up because I know that in each scene, I'm going to show something different. Now we need to figure out what we're going to put in each section. And this is where the fun comes in. And this is where the creativity comes in, editing your own videos or even working with an editor. We get to figure out how we are going to show, not tell. And oh, I love this part. So what we're doing first is we're starting out with some basics. We need to get a basic title on the first scene right up here. And then we need to get some images in here because we need a text hook, we need a visual hook, and we need an audio hook. The audio hook is me talking. The visual hook is the image of the calendar. And the text hook is the sentence that they are reading at the top. I'm borrowing a little bit from the content we created on TikTok, but the text hook is perfect schedule for a product business. This should get you thinking about like, oh, what is a perfect schedule for a product business? Like perfect content schedule? Huh, interesting. So I'm trying to create questions in people's minds so that they feel compelled to get them answered. Then I'm taking the actual image of the calendar and I'm using a snipping tool to cut out pieces. You simply click on it and you highlight, and now you have a snip that you can copy and paste or save. So I use snipping tool a lot, and this is what I've used for this one because I can just copy paste it. And what you're seeing me do here is adjust the color of the box because I really want it to stand out and I want to highlight the different sections that I'm talking about. But I'm like, man, yellow, green, that just doesn't work. I think we need red. So I ended up settling on red and creating this box. I wasn't able to do this on the TikTok editor. That's why I used the emoji finger. But I was able to use the red box on Descript. And because I can copy paste on Descript, it made things so much easier, let me tell you. So now I'm taking the images and the text boxes and I'm copy pasting them into each scene to show exactly what I'm talking about. You can see there I grabbed another snip because I knew that I needed Tuesday, and I'm resizing it over here on the left side of the video, which is the safe zone, by the way. I'm trying to keep everything in the safe zone so it's easy to read and not covered up by any of the video elements, like the follow, likes, comments button, and then the description down on the bottom. And then we have, FYP and following up at the top. We want to focus on the safe zone. And then I'm just going through each scene and adding in the image that I want to show them. Now you can do this with pictures. You can do this with videos. You can do this with GIFs. You can do it with anything. Any type of media you can drag and drop and overlay. So let's say you had a bunch of B-roll. Great, drag it on top. Show the B-roll. Let's say you have a picture, right? Drag and drop the picture on top and add a slow zoom in effect. It is so powerful when you show versus tell, especially when there's movement. See this right here? Watch it zoom. See that? That was a zoom in effect that I added within Descript. So I can make it zoom in and kind of change and add animations with just a couple button clicks. And this one, I'm like, okay, I need to really emphasize the reply to comments and DMs portion of this. All right, let's do that. So I grabbed a couple of clips and I made them bigger. We're almost towards the end here. And now I'm watching it all the way through to see how I feel about it. And, if I remember correctly, what I've noticed is that it's missing a few things. It's definitely missing some jump cuts right here. When I say we're talking 10, 20, 30 videos, I want to jump in on each word, really accentuate that point. So what I've done is created separate scenes and then zoomed in on each one. So as we go through it and play, it's like boom, 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 and it jumps in further, further, further to really emphasize that point. Now, sometimes the text doesn't match up to the timeline and what you've said. And so there are situations where you're going to have to go down here and make a few edits and move things around a little bit. And that's okay. But very rarely, Descript is quite good at it. What you're seeing here is me looking at footage from when we recorded. I took a screen recording of when I was recording the actual video so I could show what it looks like with the little stop button there and the rule of thirds. And I'm overlaying that to better emphasize the point I'm trying to make. I'm just grabbing this video and I'm overlaying. I literally dragged and dropped it on top of the scene. And then I'm clicking right up here. Start at, and I'm starting the video at 4 seconds because I know that that's when the meat of the B-roll started, and you'll see it in the final video. So now I'm watching it through and I'm like, okay, we need some more pictures in here. So I'll add the picture in and then I'll add a zoom in effect to give it a little extra movement. And then I'm like, oh, we need more. So I went into Canva and I literally grabbed a screen grab of the document that I want to show, the image, and then I'm pasting it on top. That's it. It's crazy to think that it's that simple of just laying things on top, but it really is. And so I'm like, okay, I need just the marketing and content section for this part. So I went and cut it out and I put it on top. I love how you can do that. Now, what you'll notice is we're getting into the captions and titles and text now. I want you to pay attention to where I've placed things. So if we go back a little bit, you'll see that I moved this down just enough to be under my chin, right? And that's because I believe that captions need to go right under your mouth. We don't want to make the viewer do extra work by looking at our mouth or our captions. We want them to be able to see both at the same time. So I like to place captions just right here. And that means all the other stuff, supporting documentation, goes right here below my chin or to the side of me. Because we have this safe zone right here and I don't want to violate it. So let's see how we put this together. Okay, so we need to grab the marketing and content image and get that in there. And then I need to add the call to action at the very end of the video. DM or comment 411. We have this connected to ManyChat, by the way, so it will send an automatic message. Okay, perfect. So we've got that done, and I'm like, all right, I need more supporting documentation. So I went and found some images of our Maker's Magic, of our products that we sell, put those in there, added some animations, and now I'm watching it all the way through to see how it feels and where I can add to it. Okay, all right, there's clearly some stuff I still needed to work on, and when I come across something that I still need to work on, I will pause the video or go back to that spot and I'll fix it. Not only that, but I'll keep watching it and keep working on it until I don't get bored when I'm watching it. I put all of my content through the board test. If at any point in time I want to pick up my cell phone and start scrolling or look at something else or check my messages or I get distracted, I'm like, okay, content's not good enough. We need to make a cut or we need to make it more interesting. The board test is very powerful. Be ruthless on yourself when it comes to this. And right here, there was a few just things I needed to improve with the jump cuts and the way that the text and the videos and the supporting images popped up. So I worked on that here. We're getting closer. It's time to start adding in text. And what I'm working on right now is the supporting hooks. So in the very beginning of the video, let me pull up Descript. You'll see that I have this hook right here. Perfect schedule for a product business. Okay, not bad. But, you know, that only lasts for how long?
It all starts on Monday after the gym.
Yeah, it's only on there for 1.8 seconds, and that's not really enough time for the viewer to take in everything. So I added a secondary hook right afterwards. What I would do to sell product with content, right? So we've gone from the perfect schedule for a product business to what I would do to sell product with content. Hopefully seeing these trigger words in combination with the actual schedule will get them to keep watching, which is my goal. All right, let's go back to our editing here. I go through it a couple of different times. I make a few tweaks to the text. I'm really trying to lay things out so they're visually appealing and they're not overlaid on top of anything else. When your elements start to cover up other elements, it can take away from them. And sometimes that's okay. It's totally okay. Use good judgment here. There's no rules, but there are a few guidelines that, if used, will make our content better. And one of those is making sure that our stuff doesn't cover up other elements and cannibalize them. Remember, captions go under the chin, stay in the safe zone. Supporting documentation needs to go down here on the side or just completely overlaid. But keep the captions on there because most people scroll silently. They don't watch with sound. I know that for a fact. I mean, at least 40% of my viewers don't watch with sound, which is a big deal. That means I need to put captions on everything. I honestly prefer captions too, by the way. Okay, it's been exported. I feel good about the content. We've gotten everything edited. I'm ready to export it. So that's what I did. I went up here and I clicked on export and I exported the video. That's it. When you hit export, it will take you to a folder for you to save everything. And as soon as you hit save, Descript will export this file and you'll be able to post it on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, or anywhere else that you want to post this content. Learning how to edit and create content is great and all, but if you're not running a business or selling a product, you're leaving money on the table. And the cool thing is that the only thing you really need to separate yourself from the business is a business bank account. And you can get one using Relay. They're the business bank account that I use. They're really easy, really simple. They're designed for small business owners like us, and they've got an awesome team. Not only that, but they have all the bells and whistles that the big banks have, like wire transfers, mobile deposits, checks, and ACH. So if you need a business bank account to operate your business effectively, click the link below and give Relay a try. I promise you won't be disappointed. That's why I use them. Let me show you what this looks like from Descript's viewpoint as opposed to a time-lapse edit. I want you to pay attention to the layers. I want you to see all the different elements that are combined into each specific scene so you can get an idea of how much work you can put in or how little work you can put in. Because not all my content's like this. I wanted to show you what Descript is capable of and what you are capable of. But you don't have to add in all this stuff, all the flashy bells and whistles. You might be interesting enough or doing something interesting enough to where you can just add captions. I mean, I've had a video that had 18 million views on YouTube, and all I did was add captions. It was interesting enough. So don't feel like you have to add all this stuff in. So on this first scene, we have captions, we have an arrow, we have an text, we have an image, we have the main A-roll, which is considered the script here. And then as we go through, those elements start to change. But what you'll notice is that captions and script are on every single one. And that's because they are important. It's important to have your A-roll on there. A-roll is this video right here of me talking, by the way. Everything else is considered B-roll or supporting documentation. And so as we go down into the different scenes, you can see all the different elements that we've added. Let me play the first 10 seconds for you so you can see what I mean.
It all starts on Monday after the gym. I document my KPIs. Then I look at the videos we've had and I save the best performers. Immediately after that, I'm gonna film. And then I'm going to post. And I can't eat lunch until that's done. As I'm eating lunch...
Notice how as the scene changes, the image changes. And that's intentional. So every time you have a new scene and you add new elements, things will look different. And that's the beauty of Descript. You can simply make things look different by pressing the slash button and making another scene. For example, let's say I watched this sentence right here.
As I'm eating lunch, I'm filming and collecting B-roll. When I'm done with that, I check the...
Okay, let's say that I don't want anything when I say the words when I'm done with that.
When I'm done with that, I check...
All right, so how do we remove the stuff that we've put on a scene? I'm gonna hit enter and bring it down so I can stay organized, and then I'm gonna hit slash. And this is gonna create a brand new scene for this sentence right here. And then I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna hit delete. Now, when we rewatch this, check it out.
As I'm eating lunch, I'm filming and collecting B-roll. When I'm done with that, I check the status of our ads and I turn off...
Did you see it?
When I'm done with that,
There's nothing there because I created a new scene and deleted the elements in it. Very quick, very fast. Well, let's say I just don't even want that to be said at all. So I'm just gonna highlight it and hit delete. Cool, now it's gone. Watch.
Filming and collecting B-roll. I check the status of our ads and I turn off any low performance.
It's gone. It's that simple to make cuts and edits using Descript. Now I'm going to hit Control Z and I'm going to back up because I definitely don't want those changes, but I wanted to give you an example of what it looks like. Let's watch a few more seconds.
It's a lot easier. We do gym, and then we come back and we edit some of the videos we've already recorded. Then I get lunch and then go right to training. This is how I make my money. Meetings are how I finish.
You notice that jump cut right there? I really wanted to emphasize that point. So I zoomed in on my eyes and I removed all other elements aside from what I was saying and the text on the screen. Now, pro tip, when doing jump cuts, make sure your eyes are in the exact same spot. Right? The exact same line. If you do jump cuts and your eyes go up or down, it's going to feel weird. And so you really want the eyes to match. And so what you'll notice in my jump cuts, they look seamless, and that's because the eyes are in the same place.
This is how I make my money. Meetings are how I finish up the workday, then it's dinner and a break. I do the same thing on Wednesday and Thursday. Friday is where things start to change.
See this? I wanted to show I do the same thing on Wednesday and Thursday.
Same thing on Wednesday.
I just wanted the box to grow. So all I did was add additional scenes and change the size of the red box. That's it. And I've completely changed the scene and made it look like it's moving and animated.
And Thursday. Friday is where things start to change. I'm going into batch recording sessions. We're talking 10, 20, 30 videos. After lunch.
Those jump cuts right there weren't the easiest thing to do because this text didn't line up perfectly with the timeline. And so I went in and I did it manually by clicking on this button right here, show timeline, and it was able to give me access to using the blade tool and using the hand tool and all the other things to arrange it properly. Now, there's a few other things. If you look over here at the right under Underlord, it's funny how they say that, but they use a lot of AI to assist in editing. Some of the things that you can do are add studio sound, which will make your audio sound so crisp and clean. When I'm driving in the car and making those videos of me in the car talking and just monologuing, it sounds terrible. But after studio sound, it sounds great. Another thing that you can do is edit for clarity, and AI will come in and make suggestions on what sentences you should get rid of. Here's one of my favorites, and that's delete filler words. It will search for any ands, ums, you knows, and things like that, and it will help you remove them. Another thing that I like is shortening the word gaps. You can click on this button, and any word gaps or any pauses that have been greater than the amount of time that you've set, it will cut them down and reduce them. Very powerful. Saves a ton of time. I had to do all of that with my thumbs on the TikTok editor. You don't have to do that on Descript. There's even an option to add eye contact. You can use AI to make your eyes look at the camera in case you're looking down reading or looking away from the camera. Really powerful stuff. Now, I'm not going to get into all the nitty-gritty details, but there is a few more things that I want to share with you. When adding something in, you might not want to show the video from the very beginning. Let me give you an example. If you look at this video right here, and we click on layer, You can see I've started it at 4 seconds. And that's because this video is better at 4 seconds. All you have to do is just drag this and it will start the video at a different time point, right? You can also speed up the footage by clicking on it and changing the duration, the speed here. This will make it even faster. Honestly, I don't recommend changing the speed if you don't have to. Now, a lot of times when you have these videos or these screen recordings in here, they'll have sound on them. If you click this button, you can remove the sound. That way it's not cannibalizing or playing on top of what you already have going on. Layer is how you're going to look at all the different stuff that are in this scene, and it will allow you to rearrange them. If I want the image to be on top, I can just drag it and rearrange it, and that will make things on top of other things so they can be seen. This happens a lot when you add in new B-roll and you already have captions set. That's why I do captions last. It's a little bit easier. Now, when it comes to the captions, you can edit them a couple different ways. You can go up here to the Underlord and you can type in captions and you can insert them, and this will allow you to insert captions, and then you can change how they look by changing the font, changing the bold, and then you can edit all the different styles. Like you can have highlights pop up, you can have them be transparent, you can add or remove a shadow, you can do all kinds of cool stuff with the captions button. And all you have to do is click on captions once they've been added, and you can edit them. You can edit them individually per scene or all scenes. I like a bold caption with very simple, large font right in the center. I think that's the move. Now, if we go into project, there's a bunch of assets that you've used in the project. They'll all show up here. There are some effects and transitions that you can add in here, but I wouldn't worry about them, to be honest with you. They're just not that big of a deal. When you hit layer, you'll be able to see all the different layers in each scene, which is really great. Elements is for you to add other stuff. Let's say you wanted to add in an arrow. Okay, we'll click on the arrow and look, we've got one right here. Let's say I want this pointing from my forehead to my nose. So I'm gonna move it just like this. And then I'm going to click on it and I'm going to change the color. Let's make it red. Perfect. And you know, it needs to be a little bit bigger. So let's make it 15 point. Hit enter. Slightly opaque would be really cool. 50%. All right. Animation. You can totally do it if you want. I'm going to add in a shadow so it gives it some depth. And now we have an arrow. You see what I mean? It's just so simple when you go to elements to add these things in. So if you look right here, I'm talking about filming on Saturday.
Saturday is a free day, but I try and get as much filming done as I possibly can. Do whatever you need to do on Sunday.
Okay, so let's say that instead of this iPhone footage that I put in here, I want to put in footage of somebody filming. So I'm going to click on media, which is right here. And then I'm going to go up to the search bar, filming with phone, and I'm going to type that in. This is going to pull up a bunch of stock video options. And I'm going to hit show all. Boom. Look at that. I've got a bunch of videos of people filming with their phones. I can take this and I can drag it on top, and it will take the media and embed it. Everything in Descript is royalty free and free to use as you see fit. So don't worry about getting copyright strikes or licenses taken down. All right, so let's just see how it looks now.
Saturday is a free day, but I try and get as much filming done as I possibly can. Do whatever you need me to.
See that? Perfect. You know, let's delete it. We don't need that there. Instead, let's go back into our media and let's see if we can find a GIF, right? Let's try influencer and just see what happens. Perfect. Aziz Ansari taking photos of his food. I love it. So we're going to click on it. We're going to add it in and we're going to put it right here. Boom. Just like that. Let's see how it looks now.
Next week. Saturday is a free day, but I try and get as much filming done as I possibly can.
Okay, just another way for us to storytell, another way for us to enhance what's already going on. Okay, let's cut that out. Good, out of GIFs. You also have stock images. You also have stickers, backgrounds, and everything from Unsplash. So please have some fun with this. Now, if you want to add a sound effect, that's going to be under the music section. So not only do they have a ton of music, but they also have sound effects. Look at this, cash register. Love it. We can simply just take this and we can drag it into a single scene like this, and it will play when we play the scene. Check this out.
Saturday we post them next week. Saturday is a free day, but I try and get as much filming.
Oh, I love it. And we can go down here in our timeline and we can hit delete if we don't want it, or we can decrease or increase the duration. Really, really powerful stuff. Music is where you'll find sound effects and music, and all of these are okay to use for commercial purposes. Media is where you're going to find all the stock images and videos. We have captions, which is where you'll design the captions or choose from a pre-selected list. We have elements to add in progress bars, spinners, pies, small animations or annotations as they call them, overlays, frames, and even arrows and stars and stuff, which is really great. You can even click on this and show the different speakers, which is so cool. You can say like speaker 1, Evan Van Auken, speaker 2, Evan Van Auken's alter ego. And then if you go up here to record, this will allow you to record new things into the script and have it match, which is really cool. Either audio only, camera, whatever, you get it. The scene is how you change certain things about the scene. And then the project is where you have all the assets for the project in case you need to keep grabbing the same stuff and dragging it in. I bet that after you know the process now, it will change the way that you look at content forever. It should, after all. If you're going to be making it, you're going to know what goes into it. And when you see a good piece of content, you will respect the work that went into it. At least I do. Descript is by far the most powerful piece of technology that I use in my business. After all, we are content businesses. Scorchmarker is a content business. Vanader is a content business. We happen to create products that serve the people that consume the content, the education, the inspiration, the entertainment. Well, in our case, edutainment. If you are on the fence about which one to use, Descript versus your cell phone to edit, use Descript. Just give it a shot. Try editing the text, try breaking up the scenes, try dragging and dropping things in. I think you'll really like it. Software like Premiere Pro and Final Cut and DaVinci, they're really powerful and you can make feature films using that software, but do we really need it? I don't think so. Not to mention, it's incredibly complicated and it looks like I'm inside a spaceship and I don't even know what buttons to press. So try Descript, give it a shot. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description underneath this video so you can sign up for it. It's about 15 bucks a month, maybe a little bit more, but it is absolutely worth it and will unlock your ability to quickly edit and create content. Here's the final point on this. If it's easy for you to edit, you'll be able to do it faster. If you do it faster, it will take you less time. If it takes you less time, it won't be as impactful on your schedule. If you can make this a regular part of your life, of your routine, of what you do for your business, creating, editing, and posting content, you are literally going to be able to leverage sweat equity for attention. This is a way for you to get sales without having to spend money. And as you start to get more sales and views and attention from your content, you'll get more excited about it. And then you'll want to do more. It creates a wonderful feedback loop that I really want to encourage you to begin. Thanks for sticking it out with me. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about, and I really hope you got some value out of it and enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please reach out. I would love to help you. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.